So we're gonna start with a comfortable position with the feet just standing up. If you're not there already, just make your way there. And don't be concerned about the alignment of the feet or whether they're forward or out. You might have one foot slightly out to the side and the other foot kind of turned forward. So it just depends what's comfortable in your body. We're not looking for anything aesthetically pleasing. Okay, and we'll just let the arms relax and soften down beside the body. And I just want you to notice your feet. And as we do this, we'll take the chin and just gently let the chin lower. And if you feel like it, you can close the eyes. And I want you to start to feel into your left pinky toe and the toe beside that, and the toe beside that, and then the next toe, and into your big toe on the left foot. Feeling into the ball of your left foot and the instep of your foot. There'll be a space where there is air between the arch of your foot and the mat, and there'll be a connecting point into the outer edge of your left foot down into the mat. Noticing your heel on the left foot, and then noticing the entire left foot. And I know for me, when I start to really focus on this one area, I almost feel like I'm leaning to that foot. You might get a similar sensation, you might not. But when we start to bring awareness and energy to one specific part of the body, it feels like we can really see and pick up on where that is going. We'll shift now our focus over towards the right side and the right pinky toe. The next toe, the toe after that, the next toe, and finally the right big toe. Feel into the ball of the right foot, and starting to feel into the middle portion of your right foot, where there is space and there's light between the arch of your foot and the floor, and where there's a connecting point and a grounding down between the outer edge of your right foot and the floor underneath you. Starting to connect to your right heel and just the right foot in general. And now bringing your awareness to both feet and how the feet simultaneously hold you up, but also ground you down. Just noticing the feet. And notice, if you do have the eyes open, how this maybe awareness changes when your eyes close. Sometimes in our practice, it's going to be really beneficial to move with the eyes closed down. And other times, it's going to be really beneficial for us to move with the eyes open and being aware in that regard. I want you to take into your mind's eye the first color that you see in your mind. Alternatively, this could be a bright light. And you're just going to imagine that bright light resting right at the arches of the feet, where there's space between the arch and the mat. And you're going to slowly imagine that that light or color is traveling up through the insides of your calves, gradually lifting up the insides of the knees, and continuing through the inner thighs, up into the pelvis. And you're going to pause here. Take a slow breath in, And exhale. Bring to the forefront of your mind this vision of the color or the bright light, and continue to travel it through the tail, the base of your spine, gradually up one vertebrae at a time through the lower spine, coming into the space through the middle spine, and up towards the ribs at the back of the body. And as you reach to the space behind the shoulder blades, there's a gradual lift of the chest. And this bright light or color continues to shine and expand up the spine towards the back of the neck, as there's a little gentle lift of the spine, of the chin, just to come to a neutral position, eyes still closed. And finally, that bright light or color comes all the way up through the back of the neck, the back of the skull, out the crown of the head. When you're ready, big breath in and out. And just sit with this lift, with this tall but natural expression of your own height. And start to gently turn your hands, palms slightly forward. This can be quite a loose position. We don't have to straighten the fingers, but just a gradual turn of the palms forward. And in this position, lift your chin up as if you're going to point your chin up to the ceiling. I don't like to lift my chin super high in this position, so it can be quite subtle. And feel your arms just 1 inch or 2 float out to the sides a little bit more, almost like you're shining your heart and your chest up. And then start to let your chin drip down to the chest. Allow your hands, palms to turn so they face whatever's behind you, and feel your shoulders kind of droop as your upper body sags down. We'll do this again. Breathing in, palms will turn slightly forward. Maybe the arms extend a couple inches out, and the chin will lift. Pause, feel your heart shining up. And let the chin drop down. You'll start to exhale, turning the hands, palms to face whatever's behind you, round the spine. I want you to keep moving like this. So the inhale breath takes the palms forward. It lifts the chin. It lifts the chest and maybe reaches the arms. And the exhale drops the chin as the hands, palms turn. And the torso slouches. And keep going. So this is in your own timing. And if you feel like you want to make these bigger, those of you that have done this before, you know that you kind of have your own little expression that you take. So as you inhale, you might like to reach the arms really far out and really lift the chest big. As you exhale, you might like to bend your knees and really hang your body forward. So we're just going to keep going like this. You might also choose, if Ujjayi breathing is in your practice, to incorporate a throaty sound in your breath, which is kind of like a whispering breath. You can do this with the lips closed the whole time. If you're struggling to get that throaty sound, definitely part your lips and open your mouth on your exhale. Think of whispering or fogging up your glasses to clean them. And we'll just keep moving like this for a little bit more. This is your own expression of your movement, of your breath. And this is how we start to learn that the breath and the movement are intrinsically linked to one another. And we can come into as much of a free-flowing expression as we want. Notice if you feel hesitations around this or reservations. Just try to release some of your inhibitions about what you look like. But again, if being really subtle in your body is serving you, then do what serves you. Maybe taking 1 or 2 more cycles of inhale and exhale. If for whatever reason you're feeling a little bit dizzy, definitely open the eyes, no problem. Now just finishing, trying not to rush through anything, so that the next time that you exhale, you gradually let your body continue down. There's no rush until you feel that your fingertips begin to connect to the mat beneath you. If the feet need to open wider to come into this forward fold, take them wider. If the knees need to bend more to come into this forward fold, bend them more. And we're just gonna move in your own way when you're down here. So you might like to sway your body weight from one foot to the other. You might find that fingertips on the ground are not working. If you have a block, you can use the block, or you can place your elbows on your knees and use your elbows as a support while the backs of the legs start to open. Let the head hang and notice how that feels when there's a lot of space in the back of the neck. And just continue to come into your own movement. There's shifting of the weight, not only from one side over to the other, but forward and backward as well. So you can even come into circling movements. There's movement through the knees, bending the knees together or individually. And there's movement through the torso, through the head. I find the best way to move is to just be curious and really want to experiment with, when I move my body this way, how does that feel? Just being curious, exploring in your body. A few more breaths like this. If you find that movement is, had its day and you're ready to be still, then you can just find a sweet spot and hang out. Last breath or two here. Good, and then we're gonna come back so that we're finding stillness into the center in this forward hanging position. Let's slowly uncurl for 10, chin to chest. 9, take your time. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep looking down at the mat. Now a little tip for when you're going from down to up is if you find that you tend to get a little bit dizzy, don't lift the chin away from the chest until you feel like your blood flow has returned back to normal. So we're just setting that tone right now by keeping the gaze down. So you can take as long as you need to, but if you don't struggle with this or experience this, then at any point you can take the chin away from the chest. So let's inhale, take the chin forward, reach the arms all the way out to the sides. We're gonna go up, bring the hands, palms together to connect, and then exhale. We're gonna fold forward again, coming all the way down. From here, bring your feet into a hip width distance if you haven't done so already. Make sure that you do have some alignment through the feet. So for the most part, we want the kneecaps facing forward, the toes in front of the heels, and we are gonna stack each elbow onto the tops of the knees. So from the side, you have this kind of support in the body, and we wanna take the weight and just play around with shifting forward on the toes and back on the heels. And just keep moving like that. Now, the idea with the elbows on the tops of the thighs here is that we can actually use them to traction the spine. And this is especially applied when we shift the weight forward into the toes. So as you shift forward, push the elbow points down, and you can feel the spine lengthens a little bit more. So we're gonna finish. The next time that you shift forward, stay with the weight a little bit forward. It doesn't mean your heels have to lift, but you just know that there's a significant amount of weight in towards the toes. Push down through the elbow points to feel length through the spine. And really try to imagine the spine as being long and extended so that on the front of your spine, which is on the front of the body. It's not rounding or curling. On the back of the spine, which is the back of the body, it's not rounding or curling. But there is lots of tractioning and lots of length, like an accordion that's being pulled straight out from either end. No bends. Good. One more breath here. Okay, let the head relax, let the arms release. From here, you're gonna plant your hands at the top of your mat and then step back into a downward facing dog. So again, go for your own movement here, your own self-expression through lifting and lowering the heels, bending and straightening the legs, feeling the backs of the legs start to open, and the sides of the body as well. You can really work into opening through the side body by coming into little twisting actions. So there is no right or wrong in these self-expression movements. It's just a bit of free play for you to observe and be a little bit more connected to what your body needs. Spreading through the fingers. And that is one benefit to us doing classes online, is that maybe if we've been inclined to always do what everybody else is doing around us in our practice, then at this stage, perhaps we're starting to release from that a little bit, which can be really beneficial. Just a few more breaths like this. Pushing down through the hands, and see if you can come into stillness for the last few moments. The stillness will really be magnified when we bound the energy down through the hands and send the tail back and up. And the reason why that is because we're engaging in an action that allows for a reaction, or bounding and rebounding. Bound your hands down, rebound comes through the spine long and the tail back and up. Good. From here, we're going to look forward towards the top of the mat, lift high onto the toes. We're going to bend the knees and come into toe cruncher. So you want to keep your toes tucked under, and I like to even reach through and use my fingers to spread the toes apart. And then we're going to sit the bum down towards the heels. So some of you might be here going, yeah, no problem. It does build over time. Some of you might be here going, this is already tough. So if you need to, you can lean a little bit forward. That will take pressure off, okay? Otherwise, just trying to sit up. If you're able to, then you can take a bit of rolling activity through the wrists here, okay? Going in one direction and the other. If you need to keep your weight forward, then you can just work on pulsing from side to side so that you don't have as much pressure on the toes, no problem, okay? So even if you are upright, we still want to make sure you can also do some interlacing of fingers. So you guys can follow me with some of these wrist openers, or you can take some of your own stuff, just depending on what you would like to do, okay? But if you're upright, you can still take some weight down onto the hands if you wanted to. Lean a little bit. Fingers can face back, pawing the mat. But again, if you have some other stuff that you want to do, you can take that. Maybe flipping the hands under. If you're upright, feel free to push forward and through, pulling back. Sometimes we work into this one. Just going to be here for a few more breaths. You can also work into the thumb. So there's quite a large variety of things that we can do with opening through the palm and the wrist. Okay, and like I said, you don't have to follow me. If you have some of your own stuff, you can take that. Okay, I think we're ready to come off the toes now. So let's come forward onto the hands, and you're just gonna tap the toes or beat the feet. That's it, good. And let's lean forward in towards the hands. We'll tuck the toes under, taking your gaze in towards your belly to allow the push through the hands to lift the tail into, again, your downward facing dog. From here, we're gonna find ourselves in the middle of the mat. So the feet will walk forward a little bit and the hands will walk a little bit. And then the feet will walk in a little bit and the hands will walk in a little bit. We're gonna come back to that elbow to knee connection. So bending the knees, stacking the elbows onto the knees, wrapping the hands around, shift a little bit forward, shift a little bit back, finish shifting forward, long spine. Notice if you're squeezing into your back body, try not to squeeze into those erector spinae muscles. So really go long. You're using the elbows to really lengthen and traction the spine rather than using the spinal muscles themselves. Good. From here, we're going to shift the weight back on the heels. Sit the bum lower, lower, lower until you're sitting in a chair. Inhale, sweep the arms forward. Chair pose, awkward pose. Whatever you want to do with your hands. Palms up, facing in, palms down. You can bring the palms together. Whatever you would like to do here. You want to have freedom in the shoulders. Yeah, there wants to be an energetic reach, but not stiff and sort of, you know, restricted in the body. Keep it free, keep it soft. Good, for 3. Breathe, sit the weight on the heels. 2, reach those fingers forward. 1, let's go all the way up, reach high. Exhale, bring your hands, palms together into a prayer position at the chest. Okay. Let's bring the feet as close together as they feel comfortable. Some of you might like toes and heels completely touching side by side. Some of you might prefer a little bit of space. Keep your toes spread. Turn the hands, palms forward. Feel the weight on the heels and just this gradual lift of the spine. Good. Inhale, we'll reach the arms all the way up. And from here, hook your thumbs, spread your fingers nice and wide, and start to take your body over from one side to the other. So moving right to left. And this is to really warm up the spine. Now you can add some different movements into this. So you might like to sweep the torso forward as you go to the other side. You might like to bend the knees as you sweep and round. Maybe you even reach a little bit back and come into this circling movement. Perhaps you want to wave the spine and the whole body. Good. Few more breaths like this. Just your own movement and your own expression. Okay. Let's come back into the center. We'll reach up high, and you're going to release the thumbs, hands, palms face in. Taking now the right hand, grabbing onto the back of the left arm. You can slide it down. Make sure it's not so low that it's pushing your head forward. Just grabbing towards the outside, the back of the elbow. Reach tall, weight on the heels, go up and over towards your right. So here we're going to find stillness. Remember still that your stillness does not mean restriction. So we're just looking to continue to tap on the door of one direction. And even though we're moving in multiple directions, hips are bumping to the left, upper body is reaching over to the right, weight on your heels, lift your chin. Even though there's a lot of different dynamics happening in the body, we're still trying to continue in those directions, rather than moving in and out of something. Squeeze into the glutes, reach through and see if you can extend just a little bit more through that left side of the body. Inhale, we'll come up, reach the both arms high. Exhale. Here, we're gonna wrap the right elbow under the left elbow, hug onto the shoulders. Inhale, elbows lift. Exhale, pull the elbows down, bend the knees, elbows might tap towards the knees. Inhale, one more like that, coming up. Exhale, pull the elbows down. Inhale. Let's go to the other side, reach the arms all the way up. Taking the left arm, bending the elbow, grabbing the back of the right arm, palm is facing in on that right hand, reach tall, weight on the heels, go up and over towards your left. Now the tendency is that the shoulder sinks back on the left side. and that we collapse in this left side body. So think of having a gap. You can even measure, do you have a gap there, or are you collapsing the ribs to the top of the hip? You can measure and create space with your fingers and then come back up to where you were. Lift the chin. As you create space, now you'll get the chest opening towards whatever's in front of you. Keep bumping the hips to the right and soften your jaw. Lift the chin and reach. Good. Keep pushing down outer edge of the right foot as you reach one more time through the right hand. Inhale, let's go up. Reach the both arms high, exhale. Left elbow goes under the right elbow. Grab the shoulders. Inhale, going up. Exhale, bend the knees. Inhale, let's go up. Exhale. Inhale, release. We'll sweep the arms all the way up, coming into a back bend. So from here, interlock your fingers, release your index fingers, keep your thumbs crossed and reach tall, looking up and pause. So first portion of your back bend is going to be about creating length and lots of height. Then if you want to continue and explore more, you can allow your reach through the fingers to go up and over behind you. The head might also drop back. This depends on how your neck feels, or you might prefer to keep the biceps with your ears. This depends entirely on your neck. One is not right while the other is wrong. It really depends on your body. Chest up, reach fingers. One more time. Reach up and over. Okay, good. Come up into the center. From here, gently fold forward, coming all the way down. Let the head hang. And we're going to come into an active forward fold. So where you are at your mat, no need to move. Allow your feet to open if that is needed. Otherwise, keep the toes and heels where they are. We'll bend the knees and let the belly drape down the thighs as much as possible. From this point, you want to stretch your fingers, reaching behind you. So we want to come into two directions. We're not going straight back or straight down, but we're going diagonal. So the inside of the arm and elbow is along somewhere, the outside of the leg, reaching. So typically in our forward folds, what we do right away is we pull. So here we're using gravity as an external force, but other than that, we're not pulling. We're using our own abdominal strength to open the low back, to draw the body down. Keep reaching. Try to draw your face in towards the shins. Keep reaching, reaching. And now we're ready to add a bit of force. So you're going to bend at the elbows and slide your hands along the backs of the calves or the ankles. Left on left, right on right. Wrap the elbows. Exhale. Add a little bit of pull and draw the crown of the head down towards the tops of the feet. Use your breath. If you're feeling it, you might slide your fingertips down to the base of the heels or even step on your fingers, but not at the expense of the elbows. Elbows have got to stay wrapped the whole time. This protects the sacrum. Exhale, shift a little bit to the toes to feel your tail go up. We're coming right into the end. Roll your weight slightly forward to feel your spine go down and long. A bit of pull. Okay, nice job, you guys. Let's release. Find your way into your downward facing dog, planting your hands at the top and stepping your feet all the way to the back of the mat. See, once you get into a bit of movement, if you can find stillness. And we're going to take a few breaths in downward facing dog. Fingers spread, bounding your energy down through your hands, feeling that rebound through your tail, back and up. Remember that the knees can bend and you can have space between the heels and the mat. Give yourself permission where permission is needed. Remember, we're not about forcing the body, but rather using our own dynamic effort to gradually create opening rather than trying to force. Good. From here, looking forward, high on the toes, toes spread, toe cruncher again. So bend the knees. That's it. From here, sitting the hips down towards the heels. Okay, let's breathe in. The arms are gonna go all the way up. And from here, we've already done this once. Right elbow under the left elbow, grab the shoulders. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, you can pull the elbows into the belly. You can pull the elbows down to the thighs, or you can pull the elbows down towards the knees. If you lean forward, this will take pressure off your toes. Up to you. One more inhale, let's go up. Exhale, drawing the elbows down. Inhale, let's swap sides. Releasing the arms and taking the opposite elbow underneath, this time left elbow under. Inhale, lift. Exhale, pulling down. Good. Inhale, one more, lift up. And exhale, pulling down. Okay, nice. Inhale, come up. Let's release. Take the hands forward, leaning into the hands. Look into the belly. If you need to tap your toes, no problem. Otherwise, when you're ready, you can meet in downward facing dog. Pushing through the hands to really feel that energetic lift up through your tail. Hands, palms flat. Fingers spread. Now the alignment of your hands is going to really depend on your body. You do want to rotate your biceps so that they face forward to whatever is in front of you. But that might mean that you need to widen your hands slightly more to get that rotation. Push through the palms. Okay, nice work, you guys. From here, we're going to shift the weight onto the left foot. You can take your left foot, place it in the center. Inhale, the right leg sweeps up, three-legged dog. Kick through that heel and flex the toes. You can look at the toes to make sure they are pointing down so that your toes are not out to the side. And when the foot is flexed in this direction, that really gives us a good idea of the rotation that we have through the hip. Let's lift high on towards the left toes. Exhale, squeeze the right knee in towards the chest, and then slowly step the foot down in between the hands. From here, coming onto the tips of the fingers, breathing in, hands onto the knee, lift the chin, lift the chest. Good. We'll open the arms out to the sides. Let's take right elbow underneath, left elbow grabbing onto the shoulders. Inhale, lift up. Look as high as you want. Exhale, elbows can tap down towards the knee. One more like that. Inhale, lifting up. Elbows up. Exhale, elbows can tap down towards the knee. Good. From here, let the hands go. Lean forward into your hands. Take your front toes, turn the toes a little bit towards your left. And then you're going to step your back foot behind your front foot, so you're crossed. Now you can have both of your feet facing forward, or you can have both of your toes angled slightly out to the side. Now I just want you to play around with the bending of the knees and the leaning of the weight. So when you lean your hips to one side, stretch your arms to the other side. See how that feels? And same thing on the other side. When you lean your hips, stretch your arms to the opposite side. See how that feels? A few more breaths like this. Okay, so we're going to come out of this the same way we went into it. So lean forward into your hands. Now your front leg, which is your right leg, turn your toes forward if they're not already there. Lean into your hands. Release your left leg to the back of the mat. You're in your lunge again. Plant down through your hands, palms. Step back, downward facing dog. Let's come into the other side. Shifting the weight into the right leg. Right foot might come into the center. Inhale, left leg lifts up, three-legged dog. Remember that you can still bend into your right knee. You can still have a gap between your right heel and the mat. Not only are you pushing down through the hands to rebound through the tail, now you're bounding down through the hands to rebound through your foot. High onto your right toes. Exhale, left knee to chest. And start to look forward as you shift to step the foot down. Good. Lifting on towards the fingertips. Inhale. Let's open up the arms. reaching out. Taking left elbow under the right elbow. Inhale to lift. Exhale, elbows coming down. Again, inhale to lift. Nice, you guys. Exhale, elbows coming down. Okay, from here, allow the hands to come forward. Maybe your front toes stay forward. I personally like to turn mine a little bit angled, in this case to the right. Shift your weight so you can step the back foot in. And again, toes can point forward, or you can have those feet facing towards the opposite sides. And then a little bit of lean and a little bit of play. Now you might find a spot where you want to stay. And the knees can bend as much or as little as you need. Or you might have one knee bend while the other one stays straight. Particularly the front knee bending while the back knee stays straight. Good, last few breaths. All right, let's release this out. So hands coming to the top of the mat. You can reposition the front foot for the back leg to step, coming into that lunge, and then plant the hands, step back, downward facing dog. Tail is lifted because the hands are pushing. If we don't push down to the hands and we just try and lift the tail, all we do is over-compress our lower back. So the lifting of the tail needs to come from a bigger source, the hands, the push. Again, your biceps will face forward, but you're still pushing down. And with the biceps facing forward, you still might need to have a little bit of a wider stance. Let's lift high onto the toes. Drop the knees. Fire toes again. Keep the toes nice and spread. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. This time, we're gonna come into eagle arms. So the right elbow is gonna go under the left elbow and you're gonna pause. Then from here, you squeeze the backs of the hands towards one another. Then you can wrap them if you wish. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, pull down. Again, inhale, lift up. Exhale, pull down. Inhale, coming up, and we'll release. Other side, going out or up, and then left elbow under the right elbow, pause, palms face out. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Now in the process of squeeze, if this happens, then you gotta go back. Stacking is where it's at. This is maybe your pose. Otherwise, wrap. Inhale, lift. Exhale, pull down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, pull down. Good, inhale, lift. Okay, let's release. Come forward, tap the toes, and when you're ready, hips up and back, downward facing dog, lift the tail. Good, bounding down through those hands, rebounding through the tail. Let's take the left foot in the center. Inhale, right leg lifts up, three-legged dog. Lift high on your left toes. Exhale, squeeze your right knee into your chest. As you do, shift your weight forward to step the foot through. Lift up onto your fingertips, lift the chest. Inhale, reach the arms out. This time, eagle arms. Right elbow under the left elbow, pause. You might stay here, you might bring the backs of the hands together, or you might wrap around. Inhale, lift up. You can look up as high as you want, and we're gonna pause here for 3. Breathe, 2, and 1. Good. Exhale. You can do knee and elbows connect. You can do elbows into belly, or maybe you wanna do elbows to the shin. This one is more resting, so try to pick something that you feel like is going to benefit you. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, coming up, release out. Let the hands lower down. And this time, we're going to take the front foot and it's going to cross over the back foot. So plant the hands down. When you step back, now you're gonna cross your ankles here. So you might need to readjust so that your feet are slightly centered. And then we're gonna push ourselves to the back of the mat. And again, a little bit of sway or finding stillness. Okay, nice work, you guys. From here, walking forward to the top of the mat, and just reposition the legs so you're in downward facing dog again. Spreading the fingers, bounding your energy down. Maybe the hands need to turn out slightly. There is not one position that's going to be the best for everyone. Let's take the other side. Right foot is in the center. Inhale, left leg comes up, three-legged dog. Kick through the heel. Lift high on your right toes. Exhale, squeeze your left knee to your chest. And as you look forward, shift, step the foot through. On the fingertips, inhale to lift as you open the arms out, taking left elbow under the right elbow. Pause with the palms facing out, or continue to wrap or squeeze in. Up to you. Inhale, go up. Good. Exhale, pulling down. That's it. Oh, I forgot stillness. Let's go up again. Haha. We're gonna stay there for stillness. Squeezing between the inner thighs. And then coming down for stillness. So it could be elbows in belly, elbows on thigh or knee, or elbows below the knee. 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, coming up. Release and open. Let the hands lower down. Front foot steps to the back leg. So that front ankle is crossing in front of the back ankle. And readjust the feet. So just making sure that you have the left foot in front and the right leg behind. Walking the hands and going for a bit of a sway. Last breath or two here. All right, from here, we're actually just gonna keep the hands leaning in front of us. Release the legs so the feet are neutral again. And we'll slowly uncurl the body. Take your time. Lift the chin at the end. And exhale. So we are gonna get into some balancing work. I just wanna ground a little bit more before we do that. So feeling the feet grounded into the mat, okay? And we're gonna take one hand on the chest, one hand on the belly. Let the chin slowly drop. Let the eyes close. And without changing anything, I just want you to notice how the heart is beating. Noticing the warmth of the body that you've generated. And then noticing where the body is expanding to breathe, to take in oxygen. See if you can start to minimize the amount that your chest rises and falls, and instead exaggerate the amount that your belly moves and your ribs open on the sides. And this is more of our diaphragmatic breathing. So rather than the chest rising and falling, the hand that's on the chest is not moving much. But the hand that's on the belly, that's really moving. Alternatively, just to feel, you can place your hands onto the sides of the ribs and feel those open. And then close. Try not to forget about using the belly. A few more breaths like this. Okay, keeping the eyes closed, soften the arms beside the body. And then gradually let the eyes open. You can blink a few times and then bring the chin forward. Okay, so now we're going to get into some balancing work. So find yourselves in the middle of the mat. We're going to come into a bit of external rotation to open the hip for something like tree pose. There's a lot of different tree pose variations that can be done, and we're going to be working on gradually building up to a closed knee joint and an external rotation through the hip. Okay, so we'll take the hands onto the hips, and you're going to shift your body weight over into your left knee. So a bend in the left knee, it's nice and buoyant, so you can feel that if you need to recalibrate the balance, you can. If we straighten the leg, it's kind of like a tree, right? Timber, the tree is completely straight. There's no way that it can recalibrate itself. So keep that knee nice and bent. We're going to externally rotate through the front leg, and we're just going to lift it up for 3. External rotation for 2. Flex the toes for 1. From here, squeeze the heel in like you're trying to squeeze up for 3, 2, and 1. Pass the leg back behind you. We're still externally rotating. 3, 2, 1. The final thing, squeeze your heel to your butt. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Then let that foot lower all the way down. Coming into the other side, shift the weight to the right leg, nice and buoyant through that right knee. Shoulders relax. Good. External rotation through the front left leg. Lift it up. Flex toes. Find your breath. Good. Then from here, squeeze the heel in and pass it through. Pause. Keep trying to squeeze that heel in. And from here, bringing the leg back. The leg is not straight behind us, but the knee is slightly bent. And then at the end, we finish by squeezing and kicking that heel to the buttocks. Pause there. Good. And then let it lower down. Let's breathe in the arms up, reaching high. And exhale, palms into prayer. Now from here, you're going to open up. So fingertips are connected, elbows are out to the side. Shift the weight into the left leg, external rotation through the right leg. So the leg is going to lift, just like we've done. But if you would like to, you can add a twist. So the first step of the twist will be your leg squeezes across the body. You feel inner thigh active. Second step would be you twist. Now, if the twist is throwing you off, you don't have to. Okay? In the very least, the attempt is to bring left ribs closer to the right thigh. That's it. Good. Then from here, turn to front, palms into prayer. Squeeze that heel in. 3, 2, 1. From here, send the leg back. External rotation. 3. Right away, squeeze the heel to the buttocks. 2, and 1. Good. Lower it down. See if you can find stillness. Breathe in. Out. 1 more. And good. Open it up. Elbows out to the sides. Shift the weight. Bending, nice and buoyant into that standing right leg. Left leg externally rotates, lift it up. Step 1, cross it. Step 2, little bit of twist. Maybe step 3, you look back over your left elbow. Up to you. Keep trying to externally rotate that leg. You should feel the left inner thigh. Good. Turn to the front. Palms into prayer. Squeeze the heel. 3, 2, 1. Send it back. Open the knee. 3, kick the heel to the buttocks. 2, 1. Good. Try and find stillness. Pause. Breathe in. Breathe out. Again, breathe in. Breathe out. Last time, we're going to flutter the lips. Breathe in. If you want, breathe out. This looks really funny on video, actually. Okay, let's try it again. Open the palms out. Fingertips connect. So as we do this the third time, then we're going to actually try to blend the movements together. So as soon as you shift the weight, the leg reaches and you twist. Otherwise, keep it mechanical. Go ahead. That's it. Into your twist. Pause there. Turn to the front, palms come together, squeeze it in. Bring the leg back. Nice, you guys. Now, adding a new thing. Squeeze it in. Reach down, interlock your fingers, scoop underneath your foot, pull the foot in towards the chest. 5, 4, 3, relax your right knee, 2, 1. We're gonna stabilize that leg by slowly letting it go. And then relax it down. Pause, palms to prayer. Breathe in and out. Second one, if you want to flutter, you can. Okay, good. Open it up. You can combine everything together. Again, as that left leg sweeps, you twist. Holding here. So we're using the twist through the torso to open through the buttocks. Palms into prayer, squeeze the heel in. 3, 2, 1. Bring it back. Open the thigh. 3, 2, 1. Nice, you guys. So this time, squeeze it through. Interlock your fingers, round forward. Ooh, a little tricky on this side for me. And scoop underneath. Draw the leg in. Doesn't have to look like anyone else's but yours. The things you want to focus on is using the arms to pull. Relax your left thigh, your left knee. 3, 2, 1. Stabilize it by letting it go. Good. And come up to standing. Ooh, palms in prayer. Breathe in. And out. Last breath, breathe in. Let's take a moment to close the eyes down and just feel into whatever might be coming up for you. Whatever's coming to the surface, it's coming out for a reason. Don't push it down, don't run away. Just face whatever is trying to get your attention. Use your breath. Okay, let the arms relax. So now we're going to do our tree pose. So the tree pose is going to come from that last half of what we did, where the foot came forward, we pulled the foot in, okay? So let's start by shifting the weight over into our left leg, external rotation through the right leg, just lifting the leg up, interlock the fingers, round through, scoop the outside, come into that little pull. Now, after we do this for the next breath or two, this is where we're going to add some of the movement. So we're going to pull the heel in to the groin, so the knee joint is closed. And we're going to stand up tall. That's it. And you're going to slide your left hand under your foot more and use that to rotate so the knee can come down. Now, if you're familiar with this pose, feel free to let your right hand go, okay? So I like to grab over, pull up, grab under, rotate, and then I can let go with the one hand. So the idea is that we don't allow the foot to release in order for the knee to stay down and back, because we've lost the opening in the hip and the compression through the knee. So I would rather that you keep the hold of the foot with the knee up a little bit higher and the foot not sliding than letting that go to come into a number 4 here. Okay? So up to you how you'd like to do that. Just staying for another breath or two. Think of the tip of your right knee going down, the crown of your head going up. Breathe. Good, you guys. Use your right hand to scoop the back of the right leg, gently lifting it up. And slowly let that go. Try to find stillness again. Bring the palms together, breathing in. Be still, breathe out. One more, breathe in. Any way you can. Okay. Shifting the weight over into the right leg, external rotation through the left leg. Interlock the fingers, lift it up. Scooping underneath. Starting to pull the foot up first and foremost, then in next step. So we did up first, then we did in. You might not have a big difference between the two, but the intention is what makes the difference and the change. Lift the chest. So maybe this is your max, no problem. Slide your right hand a little bit more towards the top of the right foot or the left foot, then gently use the hands to rotate the sole of the foot forward, and that will rotate the knee down. Now try to be mindful that you're not collapsing because that happens. So keep your 2 hips level as much as you can. Feel the crown of the head go up as the tip of the left knee goes down. Maybe you stay with the hands, maybe you let go with one, maybe you let go with both. When you let go, make sure your butt is not sticking out to hold it. Rather that you hold on. Okay, letting go is just kind of an extra little like, look mom, no hands. Spine tall. Good. Last breath here. Okay, slowly using the hand to grab underneath. Let that release all the way down. Palms to prayer, right away. Close the eyes and be still. Just feel everything starting to power down. Let the arms relax. You can let the eyes open. Beautiful work, you guys. Okay, so from here, we're going to come down to the floor. Any way you'd like to get there, it can be fancy-dancy if you want. And we're going to send the legs forward. Just give them a little bit of a bounce to feel into any release that you might be needing. You might also like to windshield wiper the knees from side to side. I like to turn my head in the opposite direction of that. I'm just doing a few more like that. They can be slow. They can be a bit faster. Depends how rainy it is with those windscreen wipers. Sometimes you can get some good cracks. I don't know if you guys heard mine, but they were good ones. Okay, coming back into the center. So from here, just finding a comfortable position. We're going to work into a final sort of opening that really resembles what we have done with that tree pose. So we're going to be doing this first on the back, and then you have the option to roll onto your side if you would like to. So the feet will be at the top of the mat, the head will be at the back of the mat. I'm just going to turn sideways so you guys can see, okay? So laying all the way down, any way that you'd like to get there on your back, and we'll have the knees bent. So we're going to start by working with the left leg first. So from here, we're going to take the left leg, and the knee is going to squeeze into towards the chest. So quite similar to how we closed the knee joint when we stood. except for we didn't pull the knee up into the chest in this way. So we're gonna start with this right leg bent, but from here, you're gonna then externally rotate that leg. So we went from pulling the knee in to letting it go, and external rotation, hands free, okay? Then from here, we're gonna sit up and we're gonna scoop underneath the outside edge of that foot, just like we did when we were standing. And try to use the hands to just gently draw the foot close towards the head. Doesn't matter how close or how far it is. And then pull the heel in towards the pubic bone or towards the groin area there. Good. Then just like we did when we were standing, you're going to rotate. So your right palm slides to the top of the left foot. And then you're going to lay down again. Now you're going to take your left hand, place it onto the outside of the knee. From here, pull the foot with the right hand up towards you, and then move your hand to gently work the knee down. Now, because this bottom right leg is bent, you should have a little shelf there for the foot to sit. Okay? And just feeling into that. Now, I've moved my hands because I found my shelf, but if you feel like you need to keep them there, that's fine. You can always grab over top with the right hand, but we just want to encourage that foot, the sole of the left foot, to rotate slightly up. First of all towards us, and then gradually towards the ceiling. So you can make some adjustments. Now, if this is feeling okay for you, slowly, slowly become a bit straighter with your right leg. And notice how this hip feels. Now, if the foot begins to slide, then that's where you either need to bend the knee again, or really use the hand to draw the foot in, pausing there. Now, this is the next step where you can choose to either try it or not. The left arm is going to reach long so that your left bicep is in towards your left ear. You can still hold your right hand on your left foot. From here, you're going to walk your right foot more towards the outer edge of your mat. So it might even be on the floor. Okay? And then you're going to push through your right foot to roll onto your side. Now from here, you might make adjustments by walking that foot in a little bit. Now, if you've done this and it's looked a little bit like this, forward, then we've lost what's happening in this hip. So you can either stay exactly where you were here, okay, working on straightening the right leg without letting the left foot slide, or you just be really adamant that that knee stays down. You can always use your left hand to guide it as you roll over, and then you can have the ear land on the bicep, okay? Find the positioning that works for you. It's very normal to feel this into the left ankle, so please take a break whenever you need to. We have been here for a bit of time, but towards the end of this, if you're looking for a little bit more, you can lean your weight and walk that knee down. Lean your weight, leaning forward and down towards the ground. Last breath. Okay, let's roll onto the back. Slowly letting this leg go. We're going to take the leg up into the air, and we're just going to give it a little bit of a shake, not too vigorously, and then let the leg relax. Let the arms, both legs in fact, relax, and the arms relax, and just lay here. We're here for about 30 seconds to let the blood flow return back to normal. Try to be still. No movement other than your breathing or the blinking of your eyes. Okay, good stuff, you guys. We're going to come into the other side. So bending the knees, soles of the feet flat. For this one, I'm going to show you guys from the side view, just to see if maybe it looks a little bit different for you. So let's take the right knee, squeeze the right knee in towards the chest. And then from here, let the hands go external rotation through the right leg. That's it, good. And then we can start to interlock the fingers and grab, lifting the head up off the mat, grab the outside edge of the foot. Some of you might grab the calf, that's fine. And then gently pull the foot towards the head. And then squeeze the heel in towards the top of the left hip. Then you can lower the head down again, slide your left hand towards the top of the right foot, and gently let the knee start to lower. If the knee is bothering you, just don't go so deep. Stop before you feel that it's bothering you. And then you can explore straightening a little bit more into your left leg as the right knee comes slightly down. Now notice, do you have a big arch in your lower back? Try to really resemble how it will be when you're standing, where you're not coming into this big arch through your lower back. And notice how that feels. I like to readjust a little bit by lifting my foot slightly higher and then angling the knee. Again, you can have this kind of shelf or this wedge that's created. Now you might like to stay here, or you might like to explore right arm goes long. Walk the left foot slightly out to the left side of the mat. Push down through the left foot. Start to first lengthen the distance between your right knee and your right fingers. Long, long, long. Then you can start to shift and roll over here. So some of you might have the knee quite far forward. Now, if it is really far forward, then again, just go back. Try to be mindful of the knee staying as down as you can. That might mean that you don't roll onto your side completely. Otherwise, you can just stay on your back, no problem. Now, if you're looking for a bit more, that back foot pushes down. I even like to be on my back toes. And then lean the weight forward towards the floor. Last few breaths. Okay. Slowly rolling onto the back. Let the knee come forward to then release the foot. Take it up into the air. Just give it a little bit of a shake, not too vigorous. And then you'll let both of the legs go long. Both of the arms relax. And close the eyes down. Feel into the toes relaxing of the left foot. Feel into the sole of the left foot, the top of the foot, the heel, the ankle, left calf, left shin, the back of the left knee, the top of the left knee. Wrapping up around the left thigh, back of the thigh, inner thigh, top of the thigh, outer thigh, up into the left buttocks, up into the groin, the top of the left hip, the whole left leg. Coming into the toes of your right foot, the sole of the right foot, the top of the foot, the heel of your right foot, the ankle, the shin, the calf, the inside of the right knee, the back of the right knee, the top of the right knee, up into the inner right thigh, top of the thigh, outer thigh, back of the thigh, wrapping around into the right buttocks, the top of the right hip, the whole right leg. Starting to bring your focus now to the left waist, the left ribs, up into the left armpit, wrapping around the left shoulder, through the upper arm on the left side, the left elbow, down through the forearm, into the left wrist, left thumb, pointer finger, middle finger, ring finger, left pinky finger, the whole left arm. Coming into the right waist and the right ribs, up into the right armpit, wrapping around the front of the shoulder, the top of the right shoulder, the back of the shoulder, wrapping around the tricep, the bicep, the inside of the elbow, the outside of the right elbow, down through the forearm, into the right wrist, into the right thumb, pinky finger, pointer finger, middle finger, ring finger, and pinky finger, the whole right arm. Coming into your left collarbone, left side of the neck, left ear, left jaw, left cheek, your left nostril, your left eye, left eyebrow, left side of the forehead, and wrapping around the scalp to the back of the neck on the left side. Coming into the right side of the neck, the right jaw, up into the right ear, the right cheek, the right nostril, the right eye, eyebrow, up into the forehead on the right side, wrapping around the skull. All the way down through to the back of the neck on the right side. Feel the face soften, the lips relax, and the tongue fall away from the roof of your mouth. And just be soft. There's nothing else for you to do but to just be soft. Surrender into the mat. Soften, finding any position that feels good for you as you relax. Remember, it doesn't have to be on the back if you feel like you want to lay on your side or your tummy. Just listening to your body. Relax. Slowly start to tune back into the sound of my voice. Slowly start to tune back into the sounds that you might be hearing in your environment. The sound of your breath and the duration of your breath coming into a little bit of a longer inhale and a little bit of a longer exhale breath. Notice when movement wants to come into the body. You might start with just simply moving the tongue in the mouth and swallowing. You might start by moving the toes or the fingers. You might move the head from side to side. You might start to just contract through some of the muscles and eventually coming into a bit of a big stretch, like you're just waking up, which maybe some of you are. Hopefully you had a little rest, reaching. And just from wherever you are, if you need to find a few moments resting on one side of the body, just take your time to rest on one side and noticing how that feels for you. And just really relish in this nice little cocoon, this this yumminess of the time that you took for yourself. And when you do feel ready, just coming up to a seated position. And when you get to your seated position, whatever you would like to do with your hands, it's whatever is meaningful for you or however you prefer to seal off your practice. It could be folded, palms up, down. It could be palms in prayer. Whatever is meaningful for you. We'll take a moment to bow the chin down and let the eyes close. And first and foremost, this is a bowing to self, a recognition of the energy that it took for you to follow through with your commitment and your dedication of practice this morning. For your physical body and all its capacities, whatever it was able to do for you and how it was able to show up. The mental energy that it took for you to send the messages from the brain into the body to move and to try new things today. And extending out even further gratitude to something or someone beyond you. Just something that is beyond you that you can acknowledge, that you can express gratitude for. And just letting that sit with you. Thank you so much for sharing your practice. When you're ready, you can let the eyes open. Thank you for sharing your practice and showing up, tuning in, and participating. Thank you.